Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here on this Monday morning. Start off another good week for Panhandle Outdoors. We appreciate your viewership and your loyalty to us and our sponsors. Let's move on with our weather, brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning. Drew Pollard and his hardworking crew taking care of everyday comfort needs. Don't forget that special they have going on real quick. I had two of them done to our place, and it's really nice. Our high today is going to be 65, low 47. Our water temperature brought to us by Allco Electric out of Lynn Haven. Water temperature at the end of the period is right at 64 degrees. Take a look at our Monday moon phase. Every Monday we like to see what the moon's going to do this week, and Thursday will be the full moon. So we're waxing up here. We got some good nights coming. It should be a really good full moon of March. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Today is March the 10th. They got decent tides. The low tide this morning at 6:13 and a high tide at 6:45. Now wind now. Again, this is March, and it's just normal to be north-northwest or about 10 to 15. It's going to be like this most of the month, so we're pretty well used to that. The biggest thing, though, is making sure that you're not in any kind of big open water in a small boat. That's the biggest thing on this wind. Okay, let's take a break. Come back with our special guest. Okay, welcome back, and special guest. I always say special guest, but this is a special guest this morning, Captain Greg Gladden.
All right, good to see you, Coach.
Welcome back. Of course, he's one of my former students and a heck of a baseball player back in the day at Mosley, and went on to play some college ball, and has a great story. He's a captain now, but it didn't start that way. But when he was in my class, I knew how much he loved the outdoors and loved to fish and hunt. So, Greg, tell the folks a little bit about yourself.
Well, guys, I'm a former student of Coach's, like you said. Glad to be back on the show. It's my third time on
Panhandle
Outdoors.
He was first student of the month.
Student of the month. Can you believe that? No, it's good to be back with Coach. Former student at Mosley High, and like I say, just had a burning passion for the outdoors. Played baseball at Mosley and went on to play in college. And I will say, as much as I loved baseball and love it to this day, it kind of held me back from exploring in the outdoors as a young kid. Although I dabbled, and I fished the bayou behind the house, and I hunted the river with my granddad growing up. But it held me back, and so it I never got burnt out of it. I still had this fire passion for it, and so it kind of led me into my career. Now I knew baseball wasn't going to take me forever. So.
And what position you played?
I was a catcher.
It was a catcher, a fine catcher. Played college ball, and then you got a degree, or
I didn't. I got a degree from Gulf Coast State College, an associate's degree in criminal justice, and I had aspirations of being in fish and wildlife. That's kind of what I wanted to do growing up.
And you would have been a good one. That was right up your alley.
Yeah, that was kind of what I wanted to do. Law enforcement, or and something within fish and wildlife sounded good to me.
But you got a job with the clerk of court, Bill Kinsall, and
Kinsall, clerk of court.
And how long you worked for them?
I was there a long time. That's what it felt like, but just shy of 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is when the story gets fascinating now. So here's Greg. He's been in college and got his degree and working, and you just had this urge. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I mean, I sat behind the desk there at the clerk's office, and nothing wrong with sitting behind the desk, but it just really wasn't for me at the time, and really what I felt like, and like I said, had that burning urge to fish, and I've always been like the guide in my family. I'd say growing up, if you wanted to catch something cool, go fish with Greg.
Go fish with Greg.
If you wanted to, if you really wanted to get into them, go fish with Greg. So it was like I just was always the guide within my group. It seemed like so. It's kind of like natural. I just moved in and was able to start taking people and showing them how to fish, but as far as like transferring from one job to the other, that was kind of interesting. Like I did have I had a newborn at the house, and my wife was pregnant with our second.
Okay, married, got a kid, another kid on the way, and you made this life career-changing decision to get out of what you're doing, which is a good government job and secure, and to take this wild gamble on being a full-time captain.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have nobody to thank but my wife for that, because she just really like kind of pushed me into that, and was really all about like following your dreams and doing what you love, really, you know, for a living. So and so she kind of worked me into that avenue, and I'm just forever grateful for that now, because I'm just doing what I love.
The rest of it is history, how successful he's been. And how'd you get the name Complete Inshore Charter?
You know, it wasn't any kind of like special name to me. I think I was even on one of those like word generator apps on my phone while I was sitting at my desk at the clerk's office. And it was like good fishing charter name, and it gave me 3 words. I combined them together, and here we are. Man.
That's a good story. I didn't know that. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And you have you know, you got started small, but then it just took off, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. I got started on like some of those third-party websites like Fishing Booker and maybe some others, and they helped me get some clients on my boat, which was kind of important. I needed people fishing with me just to show them that I could take people fishing. So, I mean, they put clients on my boat to start. And then now it's kind of worked out to where I don't rely on any third-party booking through any of my fishing. I mean, I don't pay for any outside advertisement. I only rely on word of mouth or Facebook, Instagram, social media platforms, but I don't spend any money on third-party or any money on advertisement or third-party booking agencies as of right now, which I think is important too.
Well, that speaks volumes, because that shows the reputation he's had and the kind of fish that people caught on his boat, and the word of mouth. That's the best advertising you can ever do.
Yeah, it can.
And your reputation, and the great thing with social media, I'm on your page and all, and I see these fish. Every time I see you post a picture of a big fish, I just smile. Yeah. There's Greg. Yeah. And I mean, we're going to show you some pictures. All right, we'll take a break and come back with Greg in just a minute, okay? Okay, welcome back. Captain Greg Gladden, Complete Inshore Charter. And look at here, he brought me a cap, and we're going to put it, let's see, right here so y'all can see it. And we're going to talk about later on if you get in line to get on his boat, because I want some of y'all to fish with him, because he's good. All right, so
come on.
We got living proof now of all these pictures. So let's get started, Greg. I'm going to let Greg, he has pictures on the phone, so he's going to run it, buddy. So here we go.
All right, first we're going to swap over to freshwater.
Ooh.
We're bringing it back. Last year, I actually took my son and, well, my cousin and I, we took my son and his son, my nephew, out to Deer Point Lake. And just really went back to my childhood roots. That's kind of where I started fishing on Deer Point Lake with my granddad and my grandma, fishing off their dock.
Who are your granddad? A lot of folks don't know him.
Yeah, I have, both my grandparents live here in town. I got, on one side, my mom's parents are Greg and Paulette Boggs, and then my grandparents on my dad's side are Susie and Michael Gladden. Yeah. And so some of y'all may know them. A lot of them lived here for a long time. But however, the Gladdens lived out on Deer Point Lake, and I grew up fishing there off the dock with Susie. She really taught me how to brim fish and catch panfish there off the dock. And so we had a great time doing that, and I wanted to really bring my son and my nephew out there and kind of bring them back and start them out fishing there where I started fishing. You know, those are my earliest memories of baiting a hook and casting and catching a fish. So so we had a good time there on the lake that day, and my son still talks about that to this day. I mean, that he wants to go fishing with his cousin again. So we're planning a trip this spring. As soon as it warms up, these boys are going to be on the boat.
All right.
But I guess we can swap over to a little bit of salt water.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody's seen lately, but we have had some crazy bluefish on the beach last year, and in the bay too. But these are like some bluefish that you would see up the East Coast, like in Jersey or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking like some 10, 12-pound bluefish, which I think is pretty crazy. If anybody's got any insight where these bluefish are coming from, what they're doing. But hey, I like catching them. Really, anything that bites the hook and pulls hard, and we can get them in the boat and take a picture of them. Hey, that's what I love. So,
and they'll fight strong.
A bluefish, man, and they'll hit a lure, anything you like. So the bluefish is a perfect game fish, in my opinion.
They're on steroids, it looks like. They're gotten so big and all.
These bluefish this last year are just crazy.
Yeah.
So, I got a picture of a snook, and this one here is special because this is the first snook. I've lived here in Bay County. I'll be 30 this year, and I've lived here my entire life, and I've never caught a snook in Bay County. And I didn't get to catch it per se, but any client that catches a fish on my boat, I kind of claim it. So I say I caught that snook right there, and as the first one, like I say, that I caught here in Panama City.
What kind of lure? How did you catch that one?
That one bit a live bait.
A live bait.
Yeah, out there around the jetty rocks, and it's kind of funny. Like I've got a buddy that snorkels out there a lot, and you hear these reports and signs, and you don't know if they're myths. A lot of the folks that are telling you they see a fish, they may not be know exactly what fish they're looking at.
But he
said I've seen a 6 snook out there, so I said, man, that sounds great. And I don't know if I'd ever catch one. I figured I may have broke off on one a time or two, but I happened to be fishing some heavier leader that day, targeting a different species, and fishing some heavy 60-pound leader and a big circle hook, and he came up and got the bait.
How about
awesome.
that?
Yeah.
That's great. That's a great story.
But I will say, if you do catch a big snook here in Panama City, that fish that we caught him on a bigger rod, and we landed him, got him to the boat really quick. It was 35 inches. The water was hot. It was the middle of the summer. It took me nearly 10 or 15 minutes to revive that fish, and he wanted to belly up a lot of times, like 4 or 5 times as I was reviving him.
Yeah.
And I didn't give up. I just kept at it. I kept at it, and eventually that fish swam back down to the bottom. So
awesome.
if you catch a snook, and I've heard this, I mean, we don't catch them around here often, so it's important to know if you catch one around here, take your time reviving them. It takes a long time, especially when the water's hot. They'll eventually get back down, but you just got to take your time with them.
That's good for you.
Yep.
Good for you. A great story there. I guess that young man was happy, wasn't he?
Oh, they were excited. They knew the significance of it too, because I think they saw me jumping up and down in my face. Yeah.
You couldn't hide it, could you?
I couldn't hide my reaction.
Okay. All right.
Oh man, I've got another pretty good story here. This one actually it's not a real tarpon. I know Coach is looking at that like, what have you done? That's actually, and it looks so good. It looks real. It's a replica made by Gray Fish Mounts, Gray Taxidermy.
Okay.
And
is this your wife?
And that's my wife.
Okay.
She caught that.
No way.
Yeah, she caught that, which is pretty incredible. And it's hanging in our living room right now. She tells the story to everybody.
No, you got it hanging in the living room.
She's got it hanging in the living room. And
so what was the story on it? It had to be, to get that thing in.
It was quick. So really, it was a long day of fishing for me. I fished like 10 hours that day, and I called her and I said, get the kids' life jackets on and meet me at the dock.
You knew they were out there.
I said, it's the day. I said, we gotta go. And I said, get the kids' life jackets on. She meets me down there, and we run out to the place, and within seconds we have 2 big 100-pound tarpon on.
Whoa!
And we're both fighting. And of course I lose mine. I'm not as seasoned angler as she is. And but she lands hers and gets it to the boat. And we had our 3 kids on the boat. You can't see the third, but there's my the 2 sitting behind the console there, and there's the tarpon.
What a classic picture, Greg. Yeah. That is awesome.
Luckily, we had some friends close by that were able to come over and take that picture of us.
That is a family classic. They're going to say, Mommy's catching a big fish. I can hear
Yeah. And we named that fish. His name is Fitzgerald. He's in our living room.
I love that. Was she excited about it?
Oh, she was, over the roof. And she's not, not a huge fisherman, but she gets a thrill out of it, and she's the luckiest fisherman in the world.
That counts more than anything.
That's what I'm talking about.
You know that. And what I love about it, because he's out there tarpon fishing. And how did you get into tarpon fishing? This is what's cool, because, a while back, nobody ever fished for tarpon. Then all of a sudden,
You know, I love redfish, and I always said, like, if I could catch a redfish every single day for the rest of my life, and that'd be the only fish I ever caught, I'd be happy with that. And I think that was until I found out that we could catch tarpon around here. Like, and I think, I mean, I don't know how exactly I did. One day, I'll say specifically, I had a client ask me. He said he really wanted to catch something big. That pulled a lot of drag. He'd caught redfish. He'd caught rooster fish down in Mexico. He'd caught sailfish, and you know, I mean, he had done it all, and except tarpon. And he mentioned that to me, and I told him, I said, man, I haven't caught many tarpon. But I said they are out there. But I said I'll give it a try.
Okay.
And
that's what happened.
And that's why I took him out there, and sure enough, he had one on the line. I think we went 2 for 5 that day.
Whoa!
And that just blew my mind as to what I could do as a captain and an angler. And I've spent some years on the water at this point, and so I mean, as far as fishing and the knowledge of just fighting fish and landing fish, I mean, I had all that behind me. So like.
Cool.
Target, and now I can pour my like hunting and like fishing aspects into this one fish. It's become a game changer.
I know it. He's a great picture. We're gonna take a final break. Be right back. Welcome back. Real quick, the fishing game time today. We're looking at 9:15, 11:15 this morning and tonight. 9:42, 11:42. Blue Water Outriggers. And speaking of great sponsors and all, Kramer Marine has been so good to us. And what about you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've kind of taken me in. I bought a boat from them last year. And as far as like top-notch shop and maintenance and just like customer service stuff, they're the best. I mean, they've really taken care of me, kept me on the water just as a fishing guide. I mean, that was the struggle my first few years. I had a different brand motor, and I had to go to a different shop in town, and it was just, not that shop wasn't any good, but it was, I mean, this one here, they really take care of you, and the pride they put into their work's pretty good.
Shout out to Chris Kramer and Kramer Marine, good local folks, taking care of good local folks, okay?
Absolutely.
All right, let's jump on some more pictures. Let's look at these right here. What's going on?
Oh yeah, so we're flopping over to a little bit of duck hunting that we did this year. I got to go one time this year. I heard some guys shooting when I was running some wintertime fishing trips, and I was jealous, man. I hear gunshots across the bay, and some of them sound like water shots and like cleanup shots, and man, they must be getting them, and lots of shots. So I got my buddy, you may know Fred Myers and his son Carter.
Fred Carter's been on before.
Yeah, so Fred and Carter, they got the same fever I do, and we got together one morning and we went and shot ducks, and I think we killed 19 that morning. We were shy of our limit. There's some different ducks in there. We had some, we had mergansers, we had bluebill, we had buffalo heads, and I mean, they were just great.
Okay.
It was
all right. Then you have a relationship with your clients and all. They come back to you year after year, don't you?
Yeah,
they're good about it.
That's what's pretty good. They do come back, and that's why I've been able to kind of get off of those websites and just get those phone calls. I mean,
that's nice. All right, what you got right here now?
This is after that storm last year, that hurricane that blew through, that the gag grouper showed up around the rocks, and I called my neighbor Gary. That's Gary Harris right there. He's from Wisconsin, and he does a little bit of fishing around here. He loves it, and so I called him up and I said, Gary, let's go catch these things. And so that was just a spur of the moment thing. We went around there. I think we caught 20 gags that size around the rocks. And what a cool little trip for just an afternoon. Spur of the moment thing.
Knowing what's going on the water. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. And then your son was hunting real quick.
So just quick, that was a picture of my boy. That is a pile of sheds that he actually got. We went on a trip last year. I got to go to deer hunting up in Georgia.
Yeah.
And
this one of your clients?
One of my clients invited me up to come deer hunting, and basically that's a pile of sheds that he found at the property that they gave to him. And then this is a deer I'll show that I got to kill with my bow. This is my first bow kill, or my first buck. Sorry, my biggest buck with a bow.
That's a fine
one. My first bow kill last year. And just an awesome deer. And then, I mean, this just goes to show, and this is my buddy Brent Purvis, and he's a client of mine and fishes with me a lot. Yeah. And just the relationship that I have with those people, like he's welcome, you know, welcome me and my whole family up, come hunting and awesome. Stay the week with him. And
they live in Columbus?
They live around the Columbus area.
That's awesome.
And just great people, and I'm happy to have them come back, and we'll have a lot of memories fishing, you know, through the summer. So.
Okay, so we've got to start wrapping things up. About a minute or two, we won't tell people how to get a hold of you, because I know some of y'all want to go fishing with him, and you do red fishing. What's your special? I know tarpon. Now, if you really want to catch a tarpon, Greg is the man to go with. I see it year after summer, him catching these fish.
Yeah.
And so how do they get a hold of you right here?
Well, you can go to my website, completeinshorecharters.com. It's got some info on there. Basically just some quick info and some pictures you can look at and some ways to get a hold of me. And you can also, most of my info and updated pictures are on like Instagram, Facebook. I do post some TikTok videos and stuff like that. You can check out there. You know, I post different stuff all across all the platforms, and that's just fun for me.
Yeah.
You know, I get a lot of business. I get where I get my business, but it genuinely is kind of fun for me just to make them videos and posts and stuff. So.
It shows the success you're having. I'm serious. So we haven't shown half the picture, so you're going to come back on later with the other half and bring you out to tell us about how catching that big tarpon.
Yeah, we're going to have to bring her back on. She'll tell the story.
And you want to say shout out to your mom and your sister?
Shout out to my mom. Shout out my sister. No, I love you guys. And anybody watching, I appreciate you guys. Thanks, Coach. And just quick, I was going to ask you a question.
What's that?
Being 30 years old, husband, father of 3, you have any advice for me?
Pray every day.
Okay.
I
appreciate it.
Keep a strong faith.
Awesome.
Think about it.
Thanks,
appreciate
Coach.
it. Take care of everything, folks. Y'all have a great day today. Enjoy the outdoors. Take care of it, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.